Semester 5th, subject operating system. Myself, Ms. Anita Chudpuri. I am going to teach you the remaining topic of chapter number 5, memory management. In this video, we will learn about what is paging, what is fragmentations, and page fault. In previous lecture or video, we have discussed about the virtual memory and memory management. So, in this video, we will learn about the paging. Let's start. What is paging in next? Paging is a memory management scheme that eliminates the need for contiguous allocations of physical memory. These schemes permits the physical address space of a process to be moved in contiguous. The mapping from the virtual to physical address is done by the memory management unit, which is hardware device, and this mapping is known as paging technique. The physical address space is conceptually divided into a number of fixed size blocks called frames, and the logical address space is also split into a fixed size blocks called pages. Page size is equal to frame size. Paging is a storage mechanism that allows operating system to retrieve the processes from the secondary storage into the main memory in the form of pages. In the paging methods, the main memory is divided into small fixed-size blocks of physical memory, which is called frames. The size of the frame should be kept the same as that of a page to have maximum utilizations of the main memory and to avoid external fragmentation. Paging is used for faster access to data, and it is a logical concept. Figure shows if the main memory size is 16 KB and frame size is 1 KB. Here the main memory will be divided into the collections of 16 frames of a 1 KB each. There are 4 separate processes in the system, that is A1, A2, A3 and A4 of 4 KB each. Here all the processes are divided into pages of 1 KB each, so that operating system can store one page in one frame. At the beginning of the process, all the frames remain empty, so that all the pages of the processes will get stored in a contiguous way. In this example, you can see that the A2 and A4 are moved to the waiting state after some time, and therefore 8 frames become empty, and so other pages can be loaded in that empty page. The process A5 size 8 pages and waiting in the record. In this example, you can see that there are 8 non-contiguous frames which is available in the memory, and paging offers the flexibility of storing the processes at the different place. This allows us to load the pages of process A5 instead of A2 and A4. Next, What is paging protection? The paging process should be protected by using the concept of insertions of an additional bit or valid or invalid bit. Paging memory protections in paging is achieved by associating protection bits with each page. These bits are associated with each page table entry and specify protections on the corresponding page. Next is advantages and disadvantages of paging. First of all, advantages of paging. The first advantage is easy to use memory management algorithms. No need for the external fragmentations. In the next slide, we will see the fragmentations. And swapping is easy between the equal size pages and page flips. We have seen about what is page flips. Swapping is easy between the equal size pages and the page flips. We have seen in the, for examples, less slide. Then disadvantages of paging may cause internal fragmentation, complex memory management algorithms, page tables consumes additional memory, and four disadvantages of multi-level pagings may lead to memory reference overload. Next is, what is segmentation? Segmentation method works almost similarly to paging. Only difference between the two is that segments are of a variable length, whereas in the paging method, pages are always of fixed size. A program segment includes the program's main function, data structures, utility functions, etc. The operating system maintains a segment map table for all the processes. It also includes a list of free memory blocks along with its size, segment numbers, and its memory locations in the main memory or virtual memory. In operating system, segmentation is a memory management technique in which the memory is divided into the variable size parts. In the paging, the fixed size parts are there, and the segmentations, they divided into the variable size. Each part is known as the segment, which can be allocated to a process. Next is advantages and disadvantages segmentation. The first one, advantages of segmentation. They offer protections within the segment. Second advantage, you can achieve sharing by segments, referencing the multiple processes that not offers internal fragmentation. And fourth, segment tables use less memory than paging. Then disadvantages. In segmentation method, processes are loaded or removed from the main memory. Therefore, the free memory space is separated into small pieces, which may create a problem of external fragmentation. Then, costly memory management algorithms. This segmentation is costly memory management algorithms, and segmentation method works almost similarly to paging. Only difference between the two is that the segments are of the variable length areas and the paging method is the pages are always of the fixed size. What is fragmentation? The processes are stored and removed from the memory, which creates free memory space, which are too small to use by other processes. After some times, the processor is not able to allocate to memory blocks because its small size and memory blocks always remain unused is called the fragmentation. This type of problem happens during a dynamic memory allocation system when free blocks are quite small, so it is not able to fulfill any request. As processes are loaded and removed from the memory, the free memory space is broken into little pieces. It happens after the sometimes that processes cannot be allocated to memory blocks, considering their small size and memory blocks remains unused. This problem is known as fragmentation. There are the two types of fragmentation: external fragmentation and internal fragmentation. In external fragmentation, total memory space is enough to satisfy a request or to recite a process in it, but it is not contiguous, so it cannot be used. An internal fragmentation, memory block assigned to process is given. Some portion of memory is left unused as it cannot be used by another process. Next is, what is page fault? A page fault occurs when a program attempts to access data or code that is in its address space but is not currently located in the system RAM. So, when page fault occurs, then following sequence of event happens. The first is references, second is track, third is page is on backing store, fourth bring in a missing page, fifth is the reset page table, and sixth is the restart instruction. The computer hardware traps to the kernel and the program counter is saved on the stack. Current instruction state information is saved in the CPU register. An assembly program is started to save the general register and other volatile information to keep the OS from destroying it. OS finds that page fault has occurred and tries to find out which virtual page is needed. Sometimes, hardware register contains this required information. If not, the OS must retrieve PC fetch instruction and find out what is was doing when the fault occurred. Once virtual address cause page fault is known, system checks to see if address is valid and check if there is no protection access problem. If the virtual address is valid, the system checks to see if a page frame is free. If no frames are free, the page replacement algorithm is run to remove a page. If frame selected is dirty, the page is scheduled for the transfer to disk. Context with text page. Fault process is suspended and another process is made to run until the disk transfer is completed. As soon as page frame is clean, operating system looks up the disk address where needed page is. Schedule disk operations to bring it on. When disk interrupt indicates page has arrived, page tables are updated to reflect its position and frame marked as being in a normal state. Faulting instructions is backed up to state it had when it began and PC is reset. Faulting is scheduled. OS returns to return that call.